looking for. But how do you kind of gather what you've done through 4 games and try and stay positive about it and see how you can fix it?
Yeah. I think obviously a couple of games there where I felt like we played well. We played well enough to win, but we didn't rebound well enough. Possessions out there where we played good defense and just didn't finish the possession and give them second chance opportunities, sometimes even third. So it's kind of tough to win that way. And then obviously we didn't shoot the ball well from three. In this league, like if you don't shoot like that, like it's gonna be hard to win. And then if you don't rebound, with that, like it's like even kind of like harder. So I think that we got to fix those things. Again, like I said, I think it's just like a matter of us staying together. It could have been 2-2 or whatever you want to look at it. Like if we correct some of the mistakes that we made. So yeah, we just gotta move on and trying to get better, look at the film, and do better next game.
Do you see enough from the way that Darko's been emphasizing? I mean, you look statistically like the number of passes are up, number of assists are up. Like there is a lot of encouraging things. So do you see enough that you guys are going to stick with it and be determined to see it through?
I mean, yeah, I think we got to make shots. Obviously, I think we had a lot of paint touches last game, but I feel like we can even get like better in terms of just creating opportunity on the off, like away from the ball to like allow drives. Like we want to take people away from our paint, like, but we got to be able to get in the paint like as much as we can. And those threes even look better once you get into the paint and then you kick it out. So we got to continue to work on that. Yeah.
That's what Darko was saying after the game yesterday, sort of not enough pace in the half court.
Right.
Not necessarily running out, but in the half court. Is that just overthinking it? Like maybe just wanting to get the passes in? Or
No, I mean, I think he's just trying to set up the play. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a lot longer to set up the play than what we're supposed to do. So we just gotta have more pace into our offense and I think that's going to even help with the cuts and all the other things that we want to be able to do. If we don't do it with pace, it just doesn't matter really, right?
You go from 8 shots one game to 20 the next. Is that the way the game dictated that, or was there an emphasis to get you the ball last night, or is it
No, I think we just play. No, I think we just play. Obviously, like to me, like I want to play the right way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, again, we all in this together, trying to figure it out, and that was one night. It happened. Move on. Trying to make the right play every time down the floor. That's what we want to be, right? So like I think that we got to be able to do that.
Are you still finding your spots and where your shots are going to come from in the new offense?
I think obviously I'm figuring it out. Like I think trying to find a way to be effective, trying to find ways to again, I just the abilities that I have on the floor, being able to still explore those like within what we're doing. So I think that I'm trying to figure it out. We're all trying to figure it out, as a team. And again, like we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Like everything is new, and it's going to be rough times. So as long as we don't go away from each other during those times, I think that we can continue to fight and see it through.
Is the defense an area that you guys are encouraged by?
Yeah, no, I think we played well enough defense. Again, I think the rebounding is the only thing really that's out there. You watch the film and it's a lot of possessions where defense is terrific and then they miss and then they get another rebound and then they get another rebound. So it's hard, and especially when transition is probably like one of our best things right now that we do well. So if we can't get those rebounds and run, like it's going to be hard. So I think that we got to be able to do that. Coach has been showing the film. We put a lot of emphasis on it, and we plan on getting better at that because I think that's going to help us.
Pascal, can you talk about the matchups tomorrow and Thursday? What are you looking forward to personally, and how are you going to approach those 2 games?
I think we 1-3, right? So must win games for us. Like we got to win this game. So we got to go out there with that approach, like winning, giving everything that we have to win. I think that should be the only really concern. Obviously, really tough, talented teams coming up against. So it's not going to be easy, which is it's not easy any night. So we got to just go out there, stay together, work hard, and the focus is just winning.
Pascal, I asked Yak this last night, but how much does defensive breakdowns or misrotations kind of almost influence the offense and maybe starting it a little bit later?
I think it can influence it, but like I said, I feel like for the most part we've had a lot of good defensive like segments, you know, like where we play like good defense and like we just don't come up with the ball. Like I just think that again, if we rebound, then you know it helps even on offense because we can run in transition and it gets the offense get a little faster. And then if we don't have anything in transition, then we can do something else or set up a play. But yeah, it's just like a chain of events that happens that we got to fix all together.
Pascal, offensively, one of the way you succeeded is.
I can't hear you, bro.
Sorry. One of the way you succeed is like you get a good switch and you kind of work out of that. You make posts, like maybe score one-on-one or wait for a double and you play out of that. In this sort of new system, is the challenge for you finding a way to make that style work within the system, or is it having to find different ways?
I think it's just again it's a game of matchups. Like the NBA is a game of matchups, right? Like we got to find a way to exploit what we have, like the talents that we have. Find a way to exploit it to get the best out of it. You know, like that's the way it's got to be. You know, like if we got to continue to exploit that. Like I said, it's continue to attack the paint, continue to make the right reads, and as a team, you know, coaches involved. Like we got to figure out a way to do that. Use the abilities that we have, use the talent that we have in our advantage. You know, to go out there and exploit anything that we can on the floor. It could be cuts, it could be whatever the case might be, but we got to be able to get to the paint.
How do you guys continue to buy into the new offensive system when the results so far haven't been?
I mean, it's 4 games. Like what do you want us to do? Like we got to continue to play, work hard. 4 games. Like I said, you look at a couple of those games, one position there, and it's a different outcome. And you guys are not asking me this question, so I think that like we just got to stick with it, continue to play hard, continue to trust each other, and just go out there and try to get wins. Like at the end of the day, like it's we can talk about all these schemes, but it comes down to one position here, one position there, or we get a rebound or whatever, and it looks a little different, or we make more than 4 threes next game, and it looks a little different. So, yeah.
Pascal, a lot of times last night when you were driving, Jakob's man was there to help over on you. Is there a way you guys could you and Jak can work better together to help space the floor even in the paint?
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously like maybe for me like trying to see where he's at a little bit more. Maybe like once the big step up, just find him a little bit more for dump off passes. It's just like super crowded down there that sometimes you think about the pass that you want to make and you hesitate instead of like I think especially me and Yak, we have that good I can make those inside passes. He can catch well, he can finish well. So I think we got to be a little bit better on that. And like I said, I think Yak also got to continue to keep moving. Once the defense is like committing, or his defenders committing, just like moving, creating a little bit more space, and I got to do a better job, like probably find him for a couple of those, and then that's going to open it up for me even more. But yeah, I think we could do better.
Darko, after the game last night, was talking about the pace within the half-court offense, and also just getting the ball up quick enough to get started earlier. Is that something you felt out there, or is it something you see more watching the film?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to make an emphasis of playing faster. And even watching film, we know we can play faster. We've been playing, so just try to get stops, get rebounds, and push, play in transition.
What does it, even if you don't get a transition opportunity, what does getting into your actions at 18 versus 13?
It just gives us more. Just gives us more time to look for cutters, look for extra passes. Not rush at the end, not be in late clock situations all the time. Just a little bit more time.
A lot of talk about the defensive rebounding. What do you sort of attribute some of those issues to, and what do you guys have to do to kind of control the boards a little bit more on that?
Just make an emphasis on finishing possession. We play great defense, and then the shot will go up, and I guess we'll kind of relax a little bit. So collectively, all just making sure we end up with the ball. Oh yeah, for sure. Yak's a great player, so whenever he's out there, we all feel, I wouldn't say safe, but safe. Knowing he's there, it's a rim protector, rebounder, then an offense and a connector, great passer, great finisher.
When you guys go through a bit of a losing streak here, is it also nice to have Yak back and Yak has a bit more familiarity now than just adding Yak to this group?
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes a big difference, yeah.
How are you
Sorry, go ahead.
How are you feeling physically these days?
I feel good.
Yeah. Have you ever had muscle cramps in the past? Is that nothing just kind
No.
of one-off?
It happened the first 2 games. I don't know why, but yeah.
Seemed like shorter stints maybe last
Yeah,
night.
last night,
Is that part of
restriction.
the plan until you're back to you have this behind you fully?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully tomorrow it's done with. But yeah, yesterday, the first game back, was definitely the plan. Shorter stints, minutes restriction.
You guys had AG for a while. You're going to see him in a couple days from tomorrow. What do you make of him becoming a head coach? Were you expecting that? And what do you think of him taking over that position?
Oh, I always expected it. From the first time I met him, I knew he was like a head coach. So I'm super happy for him. He deserves it. He works really hard. He prepares really well. And it's just something he's passionate about. So he definitely deserves it. He's doing a great job.
What you said you knew right away. What was it that allowed you to know right away?
Just you could tell like he was a head coach. Like he was like the way he prepares, the way he like carries himself. He's a head coach. Like he always wanted to be a head coach too. So he definitely deserves it. And he's doing a great job. I think he'll continue to do a great job.
When the season doesn't start, probably the way you want it to, how do you keep perspective?
Oh, just knowing it's a long season. There's how many games we played? 4.
Yeah.
So we have many more games. So you just want to get in a rhythm. And of course you want to win every game, but it's about progressing and growing as the season goes on. And of course you want to peak March, after All-Star break especially, like end of February, March, early April, into the playoffs. So just building day by day, knowing it won't be perfect every day, just trying to grow every day.
We're seeing you take even more threes than last year. How are you finding that in terms of your role that being expanded? Like that part of your game being expanded?
Oh, I've always worked on it, so trying to get more volume up, and then just making an emphasis to get threes up, and knowing that the percentages will correct itself. And last night I didn't shoot the ball well, but knowing stay with it, I'll make all the shots.
We're also seeing you as like the go-to option a lot on those baseline and bounce plays where you're curling to get the shot off. Is that one way where coach has been trying to get you to shoot more of those jumpers because you're good at them?
Yeah, I mean we run the plays, and if it's there, I'll shoot it. If it's not, we go into a set. But it was there last night, so I was shooting them.
You were talking post-game about the pace within the half court. How hard is that to? I mean, I'm sure you're doing it in practice. How hard is it to translate into a game when there's different plans to resist that?
It is hard, but it's also like some of the things that we can control. And today in the video session and on the court, we addressed it, like playing against switches. We were not physical enough. We did not look to slip. We were coming way too high to set screens. Like our angles of screens, slipping out, creating angles for passing, spacing behind that is what we control and what we need to do better job of. Pace in a half court also starts with how quickly we bring the ball up the floor. And several times we were slow in bringing the ball and starting our possession with 14, 13 seconds on the shot clock. So those are the things that we addressed this morning and talked about, and looking to improve for next game.
It's a little thing maybe, but there were a few times last night where there was like only one guy back to get the ball, and then you get pressed and it takes longer. Like, is that something you focus on? Like after a basket, make sure there's 2 guys back there, so there's that outlet valve to get the ball up quicker?
Yeah, even in those situations when we had that, we want our 5 men to go and get a screen for a point guard. Point guard to bring the ball, but even in those situations, a couple of times point guard was open, we just did not pass the ball to him, so it made somebody else to bring the ball up the floor. Every time after free throws, after made basket, we need to have our point guard with pace and force bringing the ball up the floor. If they're gonna try to pick up full court, we need to be able to set a screen in the back court and bring the ball and get us an offense fast.
Coach, we're 4 games in now. How much of a reflection do you take the record so far? It's a long season. As a reflection of the team, or how much they have left to go, and do you think?
I mean, I always, when I look at it, I see half glass full. I look on the positives, and I look what we can be and what we need to do and what's in our control. We allowed those guys last night to have 15 offensive rebounds, and that's a reoccurring problem for us, defensive rebounding. We're really good in open court and in transition, but those are 15 wasted opportunities that we didn't have chance to go and run and then score easy. And when you have the night that actually last night we touched the paint a lot. Actually, last night we had a potential assists at 70%. But when you shoot 4 from 29, everything else gets magnified. Every little defensive situation, everything on offense, everything gets magnified. Our margin to win games is not big, so we need every player to contribute, and we need to take care of the ball and the rebounds and make some shots.
How do you attribute the rebounding? Is there like such an eagerness to get out in transition that there's not quite the help, or what do you see?
No, I don't think it's that. I just think like there were a couple of situations they are shooting from the three-point line and they have 4 guys turning around and looking at the rim. Like the only time you're gonna get a ball that way is that they make a shot. If they miss, you don't have a chance. So it's something that we gotta do a better job, and guys spoke about it today between themselves, and I see our group as a very prideful group, very resistant group, and I think that we're going to have appropriate reaction.
After a night like last night, is the majority of the time, like this morning, spent on offense alone? Because your defense has been good, other than the rebound.
Defense been good, but also like with our offensive struggles, we need our defense to be even better. So yes, we watched defensive film and offensive edit as well. It's early in the year. We're watching a lot of film, and we in the practice today we worked on both offense and defense.
Coach, how did you get Gary some better looks on offense? It seems like he's off to a slow start this season.
I don't have the ball in my hand, so I cannot pass the ball to Gary. It's our team that needs to recognize what kind of shooter he is, to put him in situations that when they're helping off of him, and it's his also. He needs to work better off the ball, getting to his spots, and we as a team we just need to do a better job of finding him on the court. So we definitely need Gary to shoot more threes and to make those for us.
Last season we saw that Gary struggled off the bench, but he was pretty productive with the starters. Maybe that same trend is happening right now. What do you think is the reason for that?
I don't know the reason for that, but like one game that OG did not play, he came, he was a starter and he did really well. I don't know if that's just the way guys are meshing on the court or whatever it might be the case, but he also depends a lot to have, starting point guard there to find him in those situations, to recognize where he's on the floor, to call those plays for him on a fly. Obviously, I'm trying in timeouts, I'm trying on after free throws, but I'm not able to call every single time down the court to call plays because of the pace that we want to play with. So it's up to all of us to make sure that he's getting good looks.
Coach, any reactions to the big trade that happened this morning between the Sixers and the Clippers, and how much does it change the complexion of what you're going to do on Thursday when you face the Sixers?
We got Milwaukee tomorrow, and we did not talk about that. And we have more important things that we need to take care of us and not worry about our opponents at this point.
What have you made of this team's shot guide? We talked about sort of the shot spectrum earlier in the preseason stuff. How have you felt the balance between this game?
I think it's been good. I think we have good intentions. But it's one of those things like the night before when we made 17 threes, we felt good about it, and then last night we don't make those shots, and then they're not. It's a nature. I thought that we had at least like 7-8 more opportunities to take threes, that guys were hesitant to take those because they missed the previous one or previous 2 shots, and it's one of those things like, look at our guys, like Jimmy's popping, guys are putting the work in. If you're putting the work and you're working on the game, you gotta be able to shoot those in the game and trust that you're gonna make those shots, So when it's a human nature, when things are not going the way you want, and we're teaching like, oh, let me break off of this play, let me take to some different area on the court to take those shots, So you gotta trust the work and you gotta trust open shots.
Any update on Precious?
Precious, he's gonna get a workout today. He's feeling better, but we don't have any update more than that when he's gonna be available.
Just an individual workout today?
Just individual, nothing team. Yep, just no team.